All right, so now, this is the middle of the braid, or the middle of the station, however you want to say it. And these things have numbers. These are 1, these are 2. They don't matter. Okay. 1 and 2. But it's not the color that's 1 and 2. It's the placement, the position. All right? So now, the sequencing is continually the same 2 sequences. 2 will go over everything from the opposite side to the opposite side, and then 1 will go into the middle of the 4 inactive ones. All right? I prefer to start on the left, going right, but you can certainly do it the other way if you like. Even for building the very beginning, you want to get it so it's kind of how you would continue the braid. So if number 2 is the first one to be moved, number 2 will go into the bottom. Number 1 on the same side is the next one to be moved. So I'm just going to put the tapered tip right on top of that, like so. Now from the other side, number 1 or number 2 is the next one to be moved. Or at least the position number 2 is. Okay? And same thing, position number 1. And then the last 2 to be moved are the left remaining one and the right remaining one. Now notice I have not pushed the ends together. I actually have them stacked up on top of each other, correct? That's what you want. You don't want it wide. Now, what you're going to do again is remember the sequencing. 2 over everything, 1 to the middle. This is always the middle. And 1 goes into the middle of the inactive ones. When I start, I am going to pick up 2, and I'm sorry I can only do this by covering it slightly. I like to hold the top down just a little bit, just to hold it in place. 2 swings out over everything. All right. Then I'm going to shift these a little bit. 1 goes into the middle of the inactive ones. And you want to give it a little bit of a hook. All right. So now, at this point, the numbers have changed. This now is number 2, this is number 1. So, from the other side, 2 goes over everything, and 1 comes into the middle. And then 2 goes over everything, and then 1 goes into the middle. 2 over everything, 1 to 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 the middle. Now this is where it gets just a little tricky, but you still do it. 2 over everything, 1 to the middle, 2 over everything. The last thing you do is, because you can't just keep going forever, you want to turn it, you want to taper the ends down, and then tuck them under so you can't see the beginning.
Oh,
or the
man.
end at all, okay? And if you notice, they all line up, they all line up, they all line up, they all line up, okay? Now, they start at 7, they end up slightly over 5. So the braiding shortens it down that much. However, what people tend to do, and it doesn't work with Play-Doh, but with bread dough it's easy to do, as you guys just saw, instead of picking it up, they tend to stretch it. So they actually get longer as you're braiding, and you can't let that happen. This thing should end up being shorter than it started, and definitely wide. This should have a football shape at the end of the day. It should not be looking like a barbell, all right? So, short and thick, not long and skinny and looking like it's made of 2 or 3 different types of bread together, okay? Tomorrow, I will do, because you guys, table 1, you guys did make a 3 times, you've made enough for 3 bags. So I will demo this again tomorrow with real dough. Tomorrow I'm going to do it in real time though. Alright, so you can see the real time aspect of it and the whole egg washing. But I wanted to show you slow at the beginning, and you can see the sequencing, how it follows through like I said. Okay. Any questions on braiding?
It doesn't matter which side you start on, just as long as you
Correct.
choose the right positions first.
Correct. Right. If you're starting on the right, then you have to do everything from right to left and then left to right. Okay. I just always start from the left because I write from the left. So that's why I do it that way, I guess. I don't know. I just think that's how my brain thinks. Right. So questions on this?
2 over everything.
2 over
to
everything, 1 to the middle. And the 1 to the middle is you have 2 active pieces and 4 inactive pieces. And so the 1 goes into the middle of the 4 inactive ones. Okay. So questions on that? Can somebody get me a